Hey homies, what's up? Ryan Wynn here, and we've got an inking commission. Batgirl. This was done at Wondercon 2015 by a great artist named Nick Derington. You may know him from doing the covers on the recent Mr. Miracle series with Tom King and Mitch Gerads. That's where I first became familiar with his work. I think I'd heard his name before, but I don't know from where. Anyways, let's get into this. Now, Nick had apologized for the looseness of this on Twitter when I said I was going to be inking it. I actually think it's great. It's a convention sketch. It's energetic. It's fun. It looks like he had fun doing it, even if he was tired. It looks great. I really like all the structure lines that get used in penciling, where, see, this arm has gone through her chest here. Things like that. We may play some of that into the design of inking it. We may not. We'll see. Anyways, here we go. Brush is nice and loaded. Some of you probably are too. Alright, where do I want to start? Oh, see, here's another spot where this line here for the hand is lighter and this one's darker, which makes me think the darker one is usually the second line. It was a decision that a penciler usually makes later on. But I actually like his first choice. Little 45-degree angle there, especially in this kind of cartooniness. 45s are always better than 30-degree angles. You'll notice in a lot of Jack Kirby and Bruce Timm pieces, a lot of 45s. Anyways, here we go. Where should we start? Brush is nice and loaded, like I said. Let's test out some lines. Let's see. Let's do this. I don't know how this DC paper is going to work. I don't have another one to test out. Alright, not bad. He didn't have one there, but we're going to do one. I'm doing little double lines that expand as they get out. There's a little burst feel to those. Alright, so the paper is pretty toothy, and it looks like we're going to excuse me, it looks like we're going to be getting some dry brush effect out of it. Alright, so we're going to start down here. We're going to want to do a nice juicy line there. I'm going to re-dip, make sure the brush is really full of ink, because this paper is soaking it up. So, let's see, we've got her thigh coming into her hip, sort of a simple, again, I'm going to bring up Bruce Timm a lot during this piece probably, or I'm going to be thinking about Bruce Timm a lot. Or, well, I'm going to be thinking about Bruce Timm's art a lot, not really about him. So simple shapes. We almost want this line to draw through here, the energy of it. And you can see he kind of did that with the sketch line, and then his second line he brought it out here, but we want to meet these up a little. Hopefully that makes sense. We'll see in just a second. Okay, so we kind of want to pretend we've made the full line. We want that energy to carry through. So this outer line, I shouldn't say outer line, but we're going to divide it where we made one fat line here. I'm going to kind of do multiple lines here. It's called sculpting a line. So we're going to follow through. You can easily use a French curve to do this when you're first starting out or practicing. Now I did kind of make that a challenge for myself on purpose. Excuse me. It may have been easier if I'd inked this hand first, but it would be the same challenge. I'm not sure why. That was really calling to me to do that first. So then here on the rib cage, we're going to cut in with the ribs. Wow, this paper is really dry. I'm going to bring this up to meet that nice and clean. And then we're going to beef up this outside line. And there we've got a little dimension, that part of the torso, or the rib cage comes in. There's a muscle here. Anyways, but it's simplified. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe we should speed things up. Maybe I should have done this as a time lapse. Bring her leg in there. Nice and beefy lines. I probably should have gone with a bigger brush. But I'm already feeling this one. So we'll jump out for the belt there. Okay, let's see. So if it was more realistic, you'd have the rib cage and then the underside of her breast. But since, again, this is sort of like a Bruce Timm piece, this upper part of the torso just becomes sort of one thing. But you want it clean and smooth, nothing weird. Then we'll cut in, we'll do a thin line on top here and get a little beefier where it meets. Like that. Alright, so we don't really have to wait for dry time on this. This stuff really is soaking up the ink. And my ink is pretty wet right now. Okay, so let's make sure we're in frame properly. So even though this is the underside of the arm, I'm going to go kind of thin where the fins come off. Beef up out here a little bit. I'll go a little thinner on this forearm. And thinner on this top side, like that. Might come in and beef those up. I might beef up everything, but for now I want some thin lines. There's almost a Michael Avon Oeming feel to this one. Well, I got the board here. We're going to do this cape line. All right, and even though we're going, I did some thin on the high point of this arm, we're going to keep this nice and beefy out here. We have her cape coming over. Yeah, Nick is a solid artist. Even a very loose piece like this, all of his knowledge is there. There's structure and foreshortening. And one of the hardest things for comic artists to pull off, and it's rare that somebody really can pull it off, is there's a lot of charm to this piece. There's charm and personality. All right, we're going to keep these hands really simple. cat.